Firefighters never die, they just burn forever in the hearts of the people whose lives they save. Susan Murphy. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. My name is Igor Carrijo Ramos, and together with Alves Rabelo, we are the authors of this article titled Operational Requirements for a Cabin Marine Rescue Vessel. I would like to thank you all for your presence. It's a pleasure for us being here today. So to start, we need to understand that in rescue there is a triple division into land, water, and air. For the aquatic area, we have a lack of laws, protocols, standards, and norms. However, vessels are extremely important and necessary for rescues on islands, on other vessels, in situations of drownings, in places inaccessible by land, or even to avoid the traffic and reduce the response time. However, for the vessels to be able to operate properly, it is necessary to define the vessel's characteristics and operational requirements. And once the vessel meets the requirements, there will be more efficient and effective rescue with less response time and fewer deaths. Regarding to the real need for vessels, we have that in a period of just over 20 years, the Brazilian Navy registered 1.51 occurrences per day. We do not imagine this amount because, unlike on land ambulances, we do not routinely see the displacement of the vessels to carry out the rescue. It is noteworthy that the number of cases is always growing, as can be seen over the years. In terms of history and legislation, in 1979, the SAR Convention was created, forcing the countries to carry out the rescue whenever there was an occurrence. And as the years went by, new creations and laws emerged. In 1997, the NBR 14561 was created, defining in detail the characteristics and requirements for land ambulances. Only in 2022, the rescue vessel is defined, but without any level of detail. Until today, there is no specific definition. To see viability, a direct comparison was made between the rescue vessel and the ground ambulance. The vessel is slower and has less autonomy. However, when applied in practice, there is an interesting result. For that, let's analyze an hypothetical victim on Sambaqui Beach in Florianópolis. Rescue time using a vessel is shorter even when considered an ideal traffic scenario, with all traffic lights open and at full speed for the land ambulance. This is due to the fact that the vessel has a constant speed in a shorter distance as it travels in straight lines without having to follow a path on the runway. And in addition, the vessel also accesses remote location. We need to keep this in mind. But whoever imagines the application is only in seas is wrong. Brazil has more than 44,000 kilometers in waterways, and most of them are deep enough for the operation. There is also the possibility of sea-river integration. As for example, in Balneário Camboriú, in the photo on the right, a vessel is able to rescue a victim anywhere on the beach and take him to BR-101 in a matter of few minutes, facilitating removal and avoiding city traffic. Speaking now the particularities of a vessel, the boat is exposed to 6 degrees of freedom. This unpredictable movement makes the operation difficult. However, there are two possible alternatives to minimize this movement. One of them is the hydraulic suspension on the hull, that is the picture on the right, or seats with shock absorbers. The left picture is slamming, and we must also be taken into account during the project. There is also the need to perform searches, and unlike the land ambulances, vessels need to search for extended period of time. Analyzing the operation, in order to define the demands, the division between basic support life and advanced life support must be kept in mind. However, in practical terms, we do not have the need or the ability to operate the SAV, the Advanced Support Life. The SAV requires an on-board doctor and invasive procedures to be performed. Furthermore, it's quite easy to equip a basic unit for advanced support as nothing changes in terms of layout. And for the internal layout, the NBR 14561 can be used as a basis. It defines the light, the electrical system, the immobilization on the victim on board. And in the figure, we have only one example regarding the light, which must be at certain intensity on 90% of the stretcher and another intensity on the floor. Also, with regard to the operation, the vessel needs to be able to operate in storms, to have adequate lighting systems, communication systems, ability to return to the initial balance position if capsizes, and have adequate autonomy. Some of the necessary embedded systems are the GPS, radar, security cameras, radio, sonar. These equipment will help the rescuer to reach the victim, to locate the other vessel, to ask for support, to have a view of the entire vessel without having to move, and also make a medical adjustment on the victim. Other operational requirements are the firefighting capability, the grounding capability, the non-slipping back, and systems to assist the victim boarding. Firefighting is necessary given the number of occurrences with fire and also the fact that the rescuer only rescues the victim once the scene is safe, therefore any fire extinguished. Strading is linked to the modal transition, so to support in regions with sandbanks or shallow depths. And remember that both the rudder and the propeller in this case must be above the keel line. Today, in Santa Catarina region, Reno Defense Company vessels are widely used. So, in order to complement this article, the authors analyzed it based on the points raised here. The Resgate 1 vessel has 11 meters, capacity for 12 people, reaches up to 46 knots, and has autonomy to operate for 10 uninterrupted hours. The internal space is restricted. There is no search equipment such as operating lights, firefighting equipment, radar, a stretcher to remove the victims. However, it has an enclosed space, windshield wipers, non-slip mat, a radio, GPS, an adequate system, adequate space to start scuba diving, cylinders, and a system to facilitate the victim boarding. Finally, the conclusion was reached that there is a lack of laws and protocols. This lack of laws means that the vessel that do not meet with the minimum operational requirements are on the market and being used. As for the requirements, beaching capacity was listed also with communication, location and search equipment, operation security and searching lights, cabin water tightness, non-slip floor, seat belts, search equipment, dumping systems, firefighting capability, and others. It is expected that with these requirements, a next project will be closer to supplying our firefighters heroes with all the tools and means necessary for them to perform their functions. Thank you again everyone for your time. We're now available to answer any questions and learn more together. Thank you very much.